One question that gets asked of me over and over again is how to effectively grow on Twitch. Now, if you ask 100 different streamers how they grow on Twitch, you're going to get 100 different very specific answers. Different methods work for different streamers. However, there is a general strategy that is considered effective by most of us, and that is gaining a following on other platforms, other social media platforms, and then transferring that audience to Twitch. We've done it on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, on TikTok. But now there's a new player in the game, and that player is Hover. I'm Wolverine Guy Kev, and welcome to the rebranded YouTube channel formerly known as Gen X Gaming. Now, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you find this video helpful, please feel free to click the like button, subscribe, comment down below, and tell me what you think. Now, what exactly is Hover? Hover is a lot like TikTok. It is a short form video content platform designed specifically for Twitch streamers. Your Hover account can link to your Twitch account, provide a button to link back to your main Twitch page, and can signify when you are live on Twitch. You can import your clips directly from Twitch into Hover and share them right to your feed. There are different ways to interact with your Hover feed. Much like TikTok, you can like, you can share, and you can comment. There is also an added GG like. Now, the difference between a like and a GG like is that number one, you can like as many videos as you want in any time frame. So if you want to like 30 videos in 30 seconds, that's a lot of scrolling, but you can do it. GG likes generate much slower. I believe it is 2 every 4 hours. Now, the reason for the two different methods of liking is for something called gravity. When Hover was first released, gravity was 10% of the algorithm. So if you had a higher gravity, you had a greater chance of being shown in the newsfeed. The developers have since done away with this aspect of gravity and have not instituted a new use for it yet, even though the gravity leaderboards are still visible. So keep using those GG likes and we'll see what it's going to count for eventually. Much like every other social media platform, Hover does have an algorithm that makes your videos appear more or less often in other people's feeds. Much like TikTok, this algorithm is based on velocity, which is how fast that your video has been interacted with. So if it gains a lot of likes and a lot of comments in a short period of time, it has a high velocity. Whereas if it takes your video a long time to generate likes, comments, GG likes, then it has a very low velocity. View time of your video, getting people to watch to the very end, impacts your visibility in such a way that if people are watching your videos to the end more, you're going to appear more in other people's news feeds. There are other aspects of the algorithm, but that's not really what I'm going to focus on today. What I want to focus on is how to get people to watch to the end of your videos. One thing I would recommend is that unless you're really in a pinch and need to upload something that day, and I highly recommend uploading at least one thing every single day, don't just import your Twitch clips directly from Twitch. While that is convenient that you have the ability to do that, as a general rule, you want to edit them to make them a bit more appealing and to cut out any dead air. As of right now, the Hover app, while it is still in beta, is a fairly polished product, but does not have any real editing abilities in-app on the phone. When I edit a video, I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro. However, my methods will translate over to other apps such as DaVinci Resolve or whatever your video editor du jour is. So opening up Adobe Premiere, you're gonna want a new project, name it whatever you want. We're gonna call it Hover, and it's gonna save wherever you've got your default at. Hit OK. So you're going to come to this screen here. The first thing you're going to need to do is import a clip. Now ignore all of the craziness that I have going on here. We're just going to import this video right here. Now that we've dragged this in, it is over into our area that we've got all of our video clips. We're going to move this right onto the timeline, and there we go. Now we have a visual representation of our clip with the audio right here with A1, 2, and 3, and the video here at V1, 2, and 3. And these are just separate tracks that you have to designate or maybe overlapping video or audio. Now it's important to note that this is the way this is visually laid out. If I were to put a different clip on top of this, you would only see the V2 because it is now on top of your of the first video. So keep in mind that's how they overlap. If you're going to put like text or graphics, you need to stack it on top so that it is visible. So the first thing I need to do is change the resolution here. This is a full resolution of my stream, which I believe is my Twitch stream is 1600 by 900. That's not going to work. So I need to go to sequence settings, sorry, right there. And you end up with this mode, and you're going to change the frame size for hover or TikTok. It is 1080 by 1920. So it's a 9 by 16 as opposed to a 16 by 9. And we're going to hit OK on that and hit OK here with that message. Now, what we've got here is kind of a cropped version of the same clip with a lot of dead space. So what we're going to want to do is figure out exactly how we want to fill that that black space. Now, this is going to depend largely on what kind of clip this is. I do a lot of just chatting. So what I like to do is actually keep this clip this size, but I'm going to put another clip underneath it and blur that out so there's some visual variety here. So I'm going to highlight this, and we're going to uncheck V1 and check V2 because that's where I want to put the new video. And we're just going to Control C, Control V, boom. Now I've got two videos. Ta-da! I have no idea what's going on in this video, but that's what you've got there. So I like the size of that video for right now, but what I need to do is make this one bigger. So we're in the editing workspace. We've got the bottom video highlighted, and we are going to go over to motion and go to scale. Now you can drag this and you see that changes size right there. What we need is about 214, I believe. Yes. Now that's just, I know that because I do this a lot. But now as just me, full resolution, behind me, full resolution, and that's actually a little distracting. So we're going to go over to the effects panel here, and we're going to go for a Gaussian blur. We're just going to drag that and put it right on the bottom video. And then you see this pops up over in the effects workspace, the effects panel. And we're going to change the blurriness to 30. And now I've got something I can work with here. Now, the next thing we're going to do is create some captions. Now, I don't know what the DaVinci Resolve method is, but in Adobe, you go right up to the captions and graphics workspace, and you get this workspace here. Now, your screen may not look exactly like this every time you click onto a new workspace. If you're finding that you cannot see something that is important that I'm discussing, then go right up to Window, and then you can find all of this stuff right here, including workspaces with all the different panels there if you need to navigate. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the captions workspace here. You see captions is highlighted, and we're going to transcribe the sequence. And it's going to give you this. Now, if you've only got one audio track, this is not important. However, if I had multiple audio tracks, for instance, if I had like a game clip with the audio in the background, I would not want to do a mix. I would want to specify the audio track that had the main audio that I was trying to convey. So we're going to hit transcribe. Now this process takes, on my PC, maybe 30 seconds. And it also depends on the clip size as well. Keep that in mind. And if you're doing this for Hover or TikTok, I need to stress, you need to keep these at a minute or less. And now you can go up into the text window, and you see your captions, a transcript of your audio right in front of you, and you can double click and edit however you like. I will usually do a playback, listen to the audio, and edit as it is. Now, I'm not going to go through and correct typos and whatnot, because that's not the point of this video. But once I'm satisfied that this is okay, you hit create captions. This is pretty much going to be okay for most cases. So hit create, and it's going to generate the captions, and it's going to lay down a new track up top right here. And we're going to make this a bit, make this a bit bigger so I can see. And we're going to stretch out so we've got a visual representation of these captions and where they lie. And there you have it. The bottom section of Hover, and I believe TikTok, has text automatically overlaid, video information such as the username, user profile pic, avatar, description of the video, etc. You don't want your subtitles to be there. So what we're going to do is select all of your captions. And now we're at the essential graphics edit window. You see you've got multiple items selected. Now, I don't like the Tahoma font. I like to do my captions in Futura, and you just have the time marker on a caption so you can see your changes. I'm going to make them a little bit bigger, and we want them to be centered both vertically in their area and horizontally. Fill, I like white captions are fine. We're going to make the stroke just a little bit more noticeable. And this shadow, I like to do 12 here and 12 here. But this still really isn't a good spot. So I'm going to move them to the top. You see this zone right here, we'll put them pretty much wherever. Now I like to put them right there. And now I can change, if they're not in a good spot, I can change the horizontal position here, or vertical, I can bring them down. If you're already in the top zone, you cannot bring them up any farther, no matter what your alignment is here. Same thing within the bottom, you cannot bring them any lower. So this is good. I can go through and check and see if there are instances where it is not quite aligned well. And from there, you just go up to File, Export, Media. It'll bring up this window right here. And what's really important is that you set your file format. You'll notice that right now the default is WebM. It's just because that's the last, that is the last video that I did was in a WebM format, the last export that I did. But you see the file size estimated at 86 megs, and that is not going to work for me. So we're going to bring this to H.264. It's going to bring up a bunch of new options, and we want it medium bitrate. And now it's at 16 megs. And the last thing I'm going to do is just change the name here to, we'll just call it Hover. So that's what it's going to save as. Make sure to export video and audio. That should be checked by default. And then you can just hit export and you're good to go. You can also cut out your dead air in Adobe Premiere. Let's just pretend I'm not speaking here. We're going to go right over to the razor tool, and we're going to get this to a point where I am not talking. I cut there, and I cut here because I have two videos that are running concurrently. Cut right here on both. Go back to the arrow tool, and we're going to, we're going to select that, delete it, make sure that you include your captions. Otherwise, they are no longer aligned. Once you do that, you can start dragging in images, other video clips such as memes. I like to use the emotional damage clip quite a bit. You can put in different text to kind of describe what is going on in the scenario. The possibilities are really limitless, but I find that this is the best way to keep your audience engaged, to make sure that you don't have a deer in the headlights staring at your game clip that's just bare bones with a lot of dead space and there's no talking. Remember, with these video clips, you want to engage your audience in some kind of meaningful way. Your gameplay alone is not going to be enough to keep them interested unless you are playing at the level of a top level gamer. And most of us are not that. God only knows I am not. So try to keep your videos informative or funny or anything that is really your niche. Now that is a very basic overview of how to visually make your short form videos stand out just a bit more. Now, if you found this video helpful in any way, please feel free again to like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me I'm full of it. Tell me I don't know how hover works. I would love to learn more because, quite frankly, much like most of you, I'm still just guessing at this stuff. You can also always come into my Twitch stream at www.twitch.tv/WolverineGuyKev. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. I do a lot of just chatting, and quite frankly, I would love to hear from you. So until next time, you all stay safe.